Hi, you're watching the ZS Prize. I'm Suresh Venkat. Our next guest is Dr. Ferzaan Engineer. Dr. Engineer is co-founder and chairman of SiteCare Hospitals. He is also the co-founder and joint chairman of Medwell Ventures, which offers home healthcare services under the Nightingale's brand. Dr. Engineer also serves on the board of directors of Sun Pharma Advanced Research Company and SiteSpace Research. Dr. Engineer is a member of the jury of the ZS Prize. Dr. Engineer, in your view, what are the critical issues and challenges of health and healthcare in India?
I would point to three big problems. Uh, Number one, an acute shortage of trained manpower, whether it's doctors, nurses, specialized technicians, etc. The second would be the relative absence of good data being available and good patient registries being available. And the third would be uh, to have a modern insurance system which is focused on patient outcomes, which is using data intelligently. I think this needs to evolve much more than the current state.
Dr. Engineer, like you mentioned in India, access and affordability, those are the two major impediments to health and healthcare for all. And India is known for both frugal innovation and innovation at scale. Your thoughts on this, on frugal innovation and innovation at scale?
I think there are two things. One is there is a big need in our country to do this. And two, we have the right sort of mindset and very bright young people in our country, whether they're students, whether they're working professionals, whatever, to be able to do this. So something like the ZS Prize, which creates a platform where you can ideate, you can create, you can then quickly prototype and test, and then you think about scaling this. I think you've created the right platform which will ignite young minds and enable and encourage them to do this.
And what areas within healthcare, in your view, are ripe for this kind of innovation, for creating affordable, durable, scalable healthcare solutions?
Uh, I would say, actually, when I think of healthcare, I would like to start at the beginning, which would be the right diagnostics so that we pick up things early and, if possible, before they happen. Uh, so I would think about health first and healthcare after. So how do you diagnose things early, uh, either at a genetic level or at a clinical level? How do you preempt disease? Uh, and then how do you make health care available outside the hospital setting? The current situation, uh, I think, will accelerate this trend. So how am I? So you fundamentally ask two questions: which are healthcare processes which are location independent? So in a very concerted way, if you ask that question, then you're able to figure out for which things I need to go to a primary, secondary, tertiary care center, for which I don't need to go anywhere. I can do it from my home or office or whatever. And the second question I think to be asked is which of these processes can be done automatically or using technology rather than involving healthcare professionals, because we have a shortage of healthcare professionals in our country. So I think any problem which is amenable to these two things would be very interesting to solve.
Dr. Engineer, you're a juror on the ZS Prize. What attracted you to this particular prize?
I think this is a great idea. Uh, the prize basically creates a platform which will encourage young people. Uh, I guess the most interesting thing for me personally would be to see young minds at work. Uh, and the prize not only encourages ideation but also execution. And so you ideate, you execute, and you're able to solve big problems in a scalable way and hopefully make a big impact to the society. I think this is extremely attractive. And to me personally, it will be a huge learning experience because you're seeing bright ideas every day. So I'm very excited to be part of the jury.
As a juror, what are you looking for in the ideas and innovations that the ZS Prize entrants are going to submit?
I think I would like to approach this with a very open mind rather than with any preconceived notion. Uh, so I think whether you're a juror or a participant, the first step is probably to wipe the slate clean and to be very open to new ideas. They could come from technology, they could come from artificial intelligence. They could also come from devices and physical prototypes that people create. Uh, so I would like to be very open and allow our participants to paint on as broad a canvas as possible.
Dr. Engineer, the ZS Prize is open to students from all streams of study, not just medicine, not just engineering. You can have literature students, art students, commerce students, uh, across the spectrum, really. How important is it to have this kind of multidisciplinary energy in innovation?
I think it's extremely important, and this is a step in the right direction. Indeed, not just for the ZS Prize, but for our education system in general. I think this is the path we need to follow. We don't just need engineers to solve engineering problems and doctors to solve clinical problems. We also need lateral ideas to come in from other disciplines, from people in literature, from artists, from various other fields. And it's quite possible that very simple, obvious solutions will be missed by experts, but will be picked up from people who are seeing these problems from another lens. So I think it's exactly right what we're doing here.
Dr. Engineer, final question. Your final words of advice to ZS Prize participants. How do they win this prize?
My advice to ZS participants would be, first of all, find the right problem. Find a problem which will have a big impact and which you're personally passionate about. I think that will be the fuel that will drive the participant and his or her team. I think the second thing I would say is to go through a process of de-learning before trying to solve the problem, and bring a fresh mind to this, and be very open to simple, obvious solutions, and not just very sophisticated technical things. It's quite possible that an open mind will pick up things in a very interesting way. So I think this is a journey of exploration. And I would encourage not only the great talent we have in this country, bright people, whatever, but also to have a childlike approach to this in terms of discovering something new.
Those are words of inspiration indeed. Dr. Ferzaan Engineer, thank you for talking to us at the Z Prize. And viewers, thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the panel.